an interesting print. Interesting because it by and large confirms our view, and you were just asking for this. So we have, just in terms of year-on-year numbers, we have 0.4 for this year, 0.5 for next. Now the 0.5 for next does maybe sound a little bit worse than it actually is, because in the end, we have two negative quarters. We have Q3, we just have seen that, minus 0.1. We have the same expectation for Q4. And indeed, the PMIs we have just seen are in keeping with that message. But then we do have an improvement. Essentially, we have positive quarterly growth rates from the first quarter onwards. And that's progressively also increasing, not by an awful lot. So we just have published our outlook, and we really see the euro area economy being in a situation of low potential growth. And in some sense, this could be being stuck in the mud. So they are starting to run, getting faster, but in the end, they're not really that fast that they can get to.
Well, on the inflation front, the S&P provider of the PMI data also noted something interesting, that despite the prevailing economic weakness, service providers in the region continue to forge ahead with faster price increases in November, propelled by the astonishingly rapid and even accelerating increase in input costs. Are you confident that inflation will resolutely come down in 2024?
Yes, I think we have significant confidence coming out of the individual components. I think this has already started actually in May. May this year was the print that we saw at the end of May or 1st of June was an important watershed here, that we have seen all the components except services basically falling, and then services followed in the summer according to our expectations. So this is going to continue. I think, for instance, for November, there is a good chance we see actually some downward surprise, given that we have seen oil prices going down. And so this is normally something that's concurrently affecting inflation. Now, of course, what you're pointing to is the underlying, or what Isabel Schnabel, for instance, ECB board member, prominently mentioned as the last mile problem. Of course, there is a lot of inflation also still persistent in the system, predominantly, I would say, in wages. So that's exactly also why the ECB is looking so much for wage agreements and how they come in particular in the first quarter. But of course, there is also something coming through these, you say global factors. And in some sense, these are in the PMIs. Although I would say overall, the picture is one of disinflation overall.